Thank you for clicking on this video, and today what I'm going to share with you is when you should use Flutter Web. So let me give you the gist on why I wanted to create this video. So I was in the subreddit of Flutter Dev, and then I was looking through to my daily dosage of Flutter content, and congratulations to the Flutter team to push out Flutter Windows in beta. That means you can create desktop apps inside the Windows operating systems. Amazing. And now Flutter is one step closer to being the one code base to rule them all. And then after that news, I was scrolling down, on the subreddit, and I saw this post. And this post, its title, it says, why we chose Flutter Web to build our production website instead of Tailwind, CSS, or Bootstrap. And then I was clicking on it, and the post, it's a lengthy post, and I think I was like, really just reading through it. And basically it talks about the different experience in the UI frameworks and how in the end they just decided to use Flutter Web as the platform to build their web app. And the thing is, when I went through the comment section, right? So let me read through one of the comment section. All you made was a simple landing page with an email input. So why didn't you use regular HTML and CSS? And then I went through the website, and yeah, lo and behold, it was in Flutter Web. So that brings me to this video on when you actually should use Flutter Web. So let me introduce you about what Flutter Web is, right? So Flutter Web is just one platform that the Flutter SDK and the Flutter team decided to support. So Flutter initially was a UI toolkit for you to build amazing looking apps in your iOS and Android. And now it has extended to websites, macOS, and currently it has opened its doors to the Windows ecosystem. And that's pretty amazing. Flutter was initially built for apps, and apps are just software that's on your phone and is very interactive, meaning users will push buttons, slide things and such. So Flutter engine really helps solve that, and even better to make it smooth and making the UI as much as close to the designs that the designer has put out. So you have beautiful looking apps, and it's also fast, and it's amazing, have a good experience for a user. However, with that engine to handle all of this interactivity and then putting in the web platform, but you are using it for static websites, is that the best use case? Personally, I would say no, because the Flutter engine that's converted into the web platform, right? It's amazing if you were to have interactivity with it. But if you were to just build static websites, then I would recommend, to really save time, is to use landing page or website builders. There are website builders that helps you create landing pages, and they also have all the services you need to collect emails and then do your email marketing here and there. But if you were to build it from scratch, then it is, I would say, a really waste of time, because there isn't anything that is very specific for your own use case. Maybe I'm missing out something. So maybe in the OP's mindset, instead of having a separate landing page in another technology or another service, why not just put everything inside one code base so the developers can maintain it in one, repository or folder? So personally, I don't think that is a good idea, because you got more things to maintain, and then you have a lot of things that you need to build as well. But that's just my opinion, agree to disagree. So at the same time, I also want to talk about what's the current state of Flutter Web. And it may make sense on whether you want to use Flutter Web for your own projects or even your own products that you're going to build in the future. So currently Flutter Web is still in beta, and I would say it is the same stage as where Flutter, the SDK, was initially in 2 years back when it was doing iOS and Android. Back then, and it was in beta, so there was a lot of kinks and quirks that the Flutter framework back then in beta was having some problems with. So not a lot of developers are actually using Flutter to build apps back then 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and that's a really very short time, I would say. And then now, due to its popularity and due to the success of having an amazing development experience, tooling, and a lot of things that really works well in the Flutter ecosystem, people are expecting the other platforms to be the same, and that means websites. And Flutter Web was bought. So it makes sense because sometimes the person may not be able to download the app. So why not have the app into a PWA or progressive web app? That means that you have a web version of your mobile app, which I think Flutter Web is aiming to be a progressive web app kind of framework that allows you to have very good interactivity that's very fast. And when we know we should not have high expectations for Flutter Web, we do, especially when a developer loves the experience in Flutter building mobile apps. They want the same experience in building website. And personally, I did not have any great experience as close to Flutter or developing in Flutter in any other frameworks. So in my opinion, I will use Flutter Web to have an extension of your current mobile app that you have released in the App Store and Play Store. Maybe it can be a proof of concept or minimum viable product or MVP that people can play around in the web, because you don't have to push it in the App Store or the Play Store, and it costs money to really push it there, and you have to go through a lot of process in order for you to push the apps in these both App Stores or Play Stores respectively. And even if you were to build your app in a PWA in the Flutter Web, I would recommend it to be experimental, at the same time non-production ready, meaning that you are thinking not to release this to real users who are going to have experience with your websites. Because personally, I have experience building websites in Flutter Web, and I would say in terms of performance, it's not the best, and there's many features they're still working on, like routing, where they still have the hash thing, which is a little bit ugly. And at the same time, they have a lot of things that a lot of the JavaScript frameworks have already been doing well, which is static rendering, server-side rendering, and many more. So if Flutter Web were to compete with these JavaScript web frameworks out there that's pretty popular, then they really have to have the features that the different website frameworks have already done. So there is this technology called WebAssembly, and I really don't know how WebAssembly works, but there is news, I think 1 or 2 months back, where Rive, so if you don't know what is Rive is a platform for you to build animations, and I think their USP or unique selling point is that their animations are very small in file size. So that's pretty amazing. And then they are actually moving from, I think initially their platform was in React, and now they are moving to Flutter and also WebAssembly combined. So that will be a very interesting article that I will read on in the future, because wow, Flutter Web with WebAssembly, I think there is a bridge to talk to one another. But it is interesting because the other web product or website that uses WebAssembly, but not with Flutter Web, but with I think React, is Figma. So if you don't know what's Figma, Figma is a platform that helps you to create designs for websites or mobile apps. And I personally design my mobile apps inside Figma, and it's really fast. And I mean, like, it's faster than native apps that I've already used, for example Adobe XD. If I were to compare Adobe XD with Figma, I would think Figma is like way faster, because yeah, they use React and they use WebAssembly really well. So I'm really curious and excited to see how Rive use Flutter Web with WebAssembly, because there will be kind of a game changer, because Flutter Web, the only thing that a lot of people don't like is performance, and WebAssembly is supposed to make the performance very fast. So that's about it. So before I end this video, I actually have an app that I'm building that's called Learn Flutter app. I am building it live stream, sometimes on my own time, and basically it's an app that helps you to learn Flutter. And if you are interested, I think every weekend I would have a live stream coding the app itself. At the same time, I answer questions. And if you are interested for more updates, or you want to be the beta tester, I have a link in the description. At the same time, I'm also building a platform, or basically I'm moving my content or my courses creation from Udemy to Teachable, and it is called learnfluttercode.com. I have the link in the description as well, and then I will have some updates about the platform or the courses that I'm building as well. So that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want some more of this video, subscribe down below and comment down if you have any websites that's using Flutter Web. That's it. Stay safe and all the best. Remember, wear a mask when you're outside. Bye bye.